Radio 66.
This is Ben Grauer in Times Square for NBC, along with Fran Koltun, NBC Monitor's travel editor. Fran, we are watching one of the extraordinary spectacles of the world. This is New Year's Eve in Times Square. And as one who's covered this for the mind boggles, I think 30 or 35 years I've been in Times Square, it still amazes me why this goes on. Fran, you've traveled all over the world as a travel personality. How does this strike you?
Well, there's just simply nothing like it, Ben, anywhere. I mean, there are crowds in Piccadilly Circus, and there are crowds on the Champs-Élysées and Via Veneto in Rome, but there's nothing, absolutely nothing like this scene we're watching out here in Times Square.
Don't tell me you can explain it, because I've tried through the years to and not. Can't understand it. Why do people come out sometimes in frigid, miserable days? Here tonight in New York, we have a fairly calm day. The temperature's around 30. There's no snow or rain. And it's already, here we are, half an hour before the magic moment, and already there must be 50, 55, 65,000 people jamming from our place here we're at 43rd Street, Fran,
right,
going up that triangle up to where 7th Avenue and Broadway come together, which is 6-7 blocks away, solid mass of humanity. And maybe you can hear some of the crowd noise now. And when that crowd senses that the moment is coming when the ball drops from the tower where we're here in the Allied Chemical Building.
The flagpole, when it starts descending the flagpole slowly to mark, midnight.
Right. It starts at 59 and it hits bottom at 0, and that means 1971 is here.
Ben, doesn't the crowd strike you as enormously cheerful and good-natured and gay and very young? I've noticed a lot of young people through the crowd.
They're getting younger every year. They used to see some adults about 10 or 15 years ago, and now I think it'd be hard to find anyone voting age.
Right.
Oh, wait, that's moved to 18 now.
And it's tremendously well-behaved, too. I mean, you get a feeling of good nature. I'd like to see this kind of spirit
don't
in the
get
world.
in there, kid. Francis, don't get in that crowd when we're coming close to it, because they're jostling and pushing, and every guy goes for every girl and sees if he can steal a kiss. Well, not everyone, but those that have a little brains. Meanwhile, crazy hats and the horns, and here and there you see a little smoke rising where they're shooting off firecrackers or little Chinese bombs, little things that you throw on the ground and make a bang. See, they're right there. See the smoke going up?
Absolutely, right. And the lights, Ben, aren't the lights absolutely extraordinarily beautiful?
I don't know who turned down the searchlights. That may be part of Mayor Lindsay. At the same time, there's a party up in Central Park, Our Cultural Commission is having a party there to try to cut this crowd down a little while they're worrying about whether there'll be a sanitation strike, and there won't be, at least so far we know. This is all part of the scene in New York City at Times Square as we approach midnight. And as we tell you, we'll be back here, let's see, in about 25 minutes.
25 minutes, Ben.
To get more of the excitement, you'll hear the roar of the crowd, you'll hear that noise, the decibels go up way past a possible SST as we get to the magic moment when that crazy mixed-up year 70 goes away and 71. What's the key event of 70 that you can think of that was outstanding?
Well, in the travel field, it was certainly the advent of the 747, a plane that's been praised and reappraised and gone from success to failure and success, but now it looks like a real big success.
And also the year of the non-event, probably the SST in the travel field. And in the field of world affairs and our affairs, it's, what shall we say, Kent, Cambodia, ecology, and a beginning of a feeling that the young and the old begin to stand each other. There's the story, Fran Koltun.
Thank you, Ben. We'll be back to greet 1971 from Times Square in New York City later on. But for now, stay tuned on NBC's All-Star Parade of Bands continuing. And coming up, Bob Rosengarten's orchestra from the Rainbow Grill in New York on the NBC Radio Network.
Hark! Methinks I hear Shakespeare's famous words that ringeth in my ear. 'Tis
Hi, this is Jim Lowe. Just want to take a moment to wish you all the best for 1971 on WNBC FM, New York. Big Wilson comments on hobbies.
Well, I would say if you're flying a model airplane, a radio-controlled model airplane, one of the best tips I can give you is to keep her nose down. When it crashes, you don't have so far to walk to get it.
Big Wilson comments on strikes.
Well, you hear people talking, they say, well, there's always a strike in New York City. Somebody's always wanting more money. Somebody's always out of work. You got to do without this or without that. Well, I'll tell you, if you take away the taxis and the trains and the newspapers and the theaters, what have we got? Albany.
Big Wilson comments on jobs.
Oh, I love my work. Absolutely love it. You know that, well, I guess there's always something you don't like about your job. I don't care what you do with it. If it's the greatest thing in the world to you, if it's what you always wanted to do, there'll be something about it you don't like. You know what I don't like about my job? I love my job, but there's one thing I don't like about it. That's making promotional announcements.
For more collected words of wisdom, listen to Big Wilson, 9 to 1 on Happy Day Radio 66, WNBC.
Atop the RCA building. Ted Brown here to welcome in New Year's with New Yorkers who are looking out to clean, fresh air all the way over to Jersey. We've got Tony Cabot and his octet, the fabulous Eloise Laws. We're going to bring this New Year's in like it's never been brought in before, all across the country. Happy New Year, everybody. Champagne for everybody. Well, that was Tony Cabot and the octet and way down yonder in New Orleans. And we're going to have Miss Eloise Laws sing for you. But right now, I think you want to get in the mood. Now, don't forget, New Year's means a lot of things. It means stop arguing, stop fighting, touch, kiss, make happy for 71. And we've got the music for you, too. Tony? How about It's Wonderful, huh?
God bless me, child.
All right. Is Eloise going to sing it? Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Eloise Laws. And God bless the child. Happy New Year, Eloise.
Them that's got shall get, them that's not shall lose. So the Bible says, and it still isn't used. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. The rich gets poor while the weak ones fade. Empty pockets don't ever make for grave. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Money, you've got lots of friends. Oh, yes, you have. around your door. Oh, when money's gone and all your spending's in, you know friends don't come around no more. No, 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 no. Rich relations give crust of bread and such. You can help yourself, oh, but don't take too much. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own. That's got his own.
Miss Eloise Laws, fantastic.
Thank you.
You're beautiful. Eloise will be back to sing more. Oh, she's too much. I mean, if you're going to bring in New Year's, you might as well do it the right way with Eloise Laws, huh? And Tony Cabot. In case you've just gotten here, we're high atop the RCA building, looking right across the Jersey to welcome in the brand new year of 71. So come on, folks. Touch. Kiss. Make happy. There's Tony Cabot. That's wonderful. That was Mr. Tony Cabot, and it's wonderful. Now, would you like to hear Miss Eloise Laws again? Of course you would. I mean, she's going to make that new year happen for you. And this is Eloise Laws, and For Once in My Life. So far, folks. Now, that wasn't Eloise Laws, was it, huh? Although she was singing very quietly. Hey, listen, are you going to have a good New Year's Eve tonight? Here in New York, for the first time in a long time, we can see lights way over to Jersey, even up to Connecticut. And that's kind of nice. You can really inhale and enjoy it all. And so that's just what we want you to do all across the country. And by the way, in just about 7 or 8 minutes from now, maybe 10, Ben Grauer will bring in the New Year's from Times Square, as he has for the past 375 years. And so you just take it nice and easy. Enjoy yourself. Put your hats on. Do everything you want to do all across the country. And here's Tony Cabot to make it easy for you. Here we go. Happy New Year, everybody. You know, I told you can see to Jersey and you can breathe for the first time in New York here on New Year's Eve. And I think it's a good time for Eloise Laws, huh? On a clear day, you can see forever. Here we go.
On a clear day, rise and look around you. You see who you are. On a clear day, how it will astound you that the glow of your being outshines every star. You feel part of every mountain, sea and shore. You can hear from far and near a world you've never heard before. On a clear day, on a clear day, you can see forever and ever.
Ladies and gentlemen, Happy New Year again, Eloise. Well, now, we've got more, so don't you dare sit down wherever you are across the country. This coming 71 is going to be a swinging year with peace, not only here, but, well, let's hope for the world, shall we? Come on, Tony, just in time, baby. I love you just in time. Hey, you get hold of somebody and dance, will you, wherever you are. just the start of New Year's Eve with Eloise Laws, Tony Cabot Octet. Hey, Eloise, wish them Happy New Year right there on that mic, will you? Everybody. Happy New Year, everybody. And this is just the start because we're going to go to Times Square with Ben Grauer to usher in the traditional New Year's Eve right smack in the middle of Times Square. Right on. 71's gonna be the year. Ted Brown here. Come on, everybody. You do it all tonight, will you? Yeah, this is NBC. Huh? Ow! Happy New Year!
Let yourself relax. Sit back in your chair. Though you may relax, you won't fall asleep while we're on the air.
We wish all our listeners a happy and prosperous New Year. This is WNBC FM, New York.
And football it is. Hi, everybody. This is Joe Garagiola, inviting you to our annual bowl game bonanza on NBC Radio. From sunny Pasadena, the Rose Bowl. The Stanford Indians against the Buckeyes of Ohio State. And then clear across the country to sunny Miami, where Nebraska takes on the LSU Tigers in the Orange Bowl. 2 great games, 4 great teams, all on one great network, NBC. And all on New Year's Day. And we have your seat reserved now right on the 50-yard line. You furnish the peanuts and the popcorn, we'll furnish the play-by-play. New Year's Day on NBC Radio.
It's a fabulous scene here in Times Square, filled with people as far as the eye can see. There are horns and noise and paper hats and the most tremendous sense of excitement as the crowd waits for that golden ball to come down the flagpole, drop slowly, and signal the beginning of a fresh new year. Everyone everywhere celebrates the new year one way or another, and always with joy and festivity. And while we here in New York are waiting for that golden ball to drop, the rest of the world slumbers through its first night of 71 or prepares for it. And here's what some of the scenes are like. In London, the stragglers are coming home from their parties, and it's 6 o'clock in the morning. But they'll have to be up pretty soon because the English aren't as lucky as we are. They go to their offices on New Year's Day. A few hours ago, they congregated in Piccadilly Circus, but the crowds were nothing, but absolutely nothing compared to the happy, surging mass of people here in Times Square. In Moscow, the morning has come in thin, dark streaks, but a gay New Year's holiday has begun. 2 days of present giving, 2 days of partying, 2 days of exchanging things that didn't happen at Christmas time. And in Scotland, the people are just getting over a long New Year's Eve and visiting their neighbors, and they've got a superstition that the first one through the door has to be a dark, handsome man. He's known as the first footer, and he's the first one to go over the threshold carrying a lump of coal and, of course, a bottle of scotch. In Paris, the lights on the Champs-Élysées are dim. It's early morning, and the champagne and wine have flowed, well, like champagne and wine. And the stroke of midnight, everyone kissed everybody else on the street. It was simply beautiful, and ran to find a sailor, because the French have a superstition that to touch the red pom-pom on a sailor's hat means good luck, especially if you're single. It means a husband in the coming year. In Tokyo, on the other side of the world, the new year is now an early 14 hours old. The Japanese have scrubbed their houses from top to bottom and paid off all their debts to give themselves a clean start in 71. In Hawaii, it's still several hours before the New Year's Eve. The sky has turned a deep mauve and the last of the surface is left for home, and all the flower ladies are working on those pretty, sweet-smelling leis. In Panama City, something funny happens, or will happen. Everyone will converge on the Hotel El Panama for a festive celebration, but the highlight will come at midnight when a sardine is buried near the hotel swimming pool. In doing this, the Panamanians are symbolically burying the old year, and they even put a tombstone on the Sardines' grave bearing the number of the last year that's just passed. Well, throughout the world, in various ways, people celebrate the coming of the new year. There's just no other celebration in the world quite like it, for every nation and every faith and every religion joins in its way for the occasion, and everywhere feel a sense of resurging festivity and reverence and joy. Here in New York, the crowds are a cheerful, surging sea of people, and Times Square and the excitement is simply tremendous. We're just seconds away from 1971, waiting impatiently for them to pass, for that wonderful golden ball that has done this so many years in the past to start its steady descent, marking the start of a fresh, shining year. The magic hour of midnight approaches, and the people in the crowd are getting noisier and noisier. I've never heard such horn blowing. They seem cheerful and full of hope and terribly excited about what lies ahead. It's been for most Americans a hard year, filled with uncertainty and even worry and fear. But nearly everyone I've talked to feels that the coming year, 1971, will herald a better time, a new year and a new chance, and a time of challenge and change, and an opportunity for living better lives than ever before. In my own field, that of travel, the year ahead stretches full of possibility and richness. We travel easily and without restraint from one country to another. The 747 has gone through agonizing reappraisal and has stood the test. And the good earth, the wonderful good earth.
Hey, look at the crowd starting to yell. I thought they were loud before, but now just listen to them. They see that the ball is up there and it's starting to move. The ball at the top of the Allied Chemical Building, which has been doing that for the last 55 years. And there it is, starting to move slowly. It weighs about 100 pounds. It's 6 feet in diameter, and it's going to hit bottom in just about 30 seconds, and that will mean the end of 1970, the year of Kent and Cambodia and Apollo 13 and recession and Hainsworth and ecology and you name it. And maybe the year in which the young and the older began to look at each other straight in the eye and understand each other. We don't know, but 71 is a-comin'. It's a-comin'. The crowd is shouting more and more. The noise is really extraordinary. It'll be here any second when that light goes out. The light goes on to 71. Happy New Year! And there's the situation. It's a new year for this eastern time zone, and the sun swinging at 1,000 miles an hour is going to bring it to every time zone in the nation and the world. 1971. So for some unaccountable reason, the youngsters and those that can get to New York crowd into this apex of Times Square to salute the new year. A renewal of hope. It's a sort of a folk tradition. No one can explain it, but it does express something of the dynamism and the enthusiasm and the optimism and the hopes of our nation. It's another traditional observation of the annual New Year's Eve in Times Square. And we're all wishing a happy 1971 to you. And this is Ben Grauer saying, there it is, Johnny, and I'll see you at a new hotel next year. Part of the story in New York. We've just said goodbye to our television audience and now to our radio friends across the land. We hope you will have the very best of New Year's. We hope all those problems will go away. We know they won't, but we like the idea that you're thinking so. Join these youngsters here in that same hope for the same kind of a hopeful and happy New Year that is the wish of all of us. Old acquaintance be forgot, old lang syne. The kids are swinging their arms. A guy stealing a kiss here where he can get it, and there's lots to be gotten. And that's the situation, the Times Square scene, as 1971 is a minute and 1/2 old.
Thank you, Ben. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is it, the scene, the start of 1971, a fresh new year. We at the NBC Radio Network wish you and your families a wonderful, healthy, prosperous year ahead. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year, everyone in the world. This is Francis Koltun. Now we go to the Riverboat Night Spot in mid-Manhattan, where the Cy Oliver Orchestra continues NBC's All-Star Parade of Bands. Good night, everyone.
Yes, indeed!
All I can
say is thank you, Cy Oliver, and thank you most of all, Fran Koltun, and a Happy New Year, everyone, from the riverboat, way down the bottom of the Empire State Building in downtown New York City, where we're listening to, the music of the Cy Oliver Orchestra, continuing NBC Radio's All-Star Parade of Bands. And would you like to hear an oldie from way back after all the midnight kissing has been done? How about one of Cy's own compositions, Rumble? Music you can dance to standing in one spot. One of Cy Oliver's own called Rumble. Well, our metropolitan weather forecaster made a bit of a boo-boo tonight, for which we're all very, very, very happy. We did not get the snow by 4 inches or 8 inches by now. Nevertheless, we have prepared a number that goes way back in 1971 to those under 30. A thing called Winter Wonderland with Cy and Candy and Buddy. Right?
rejoicing, a beautiful sight. We're happy tonight, walking in the winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird, here to stay is the new bird. He sings a love song as we go along, walking in the winter wonderland. In the meadow we can build a snowman and pretend that he is Parson Brown. He'll say, are you married? We'll say, no, man, but you can do the job when you're around. Later on, we'll conspire as we dream by the fire to face unafraid the plans that we made, walking in the winter wonderland. We're walking in the winter wonderland.
Hoo-ha! Well, how about that wonderful winter wonderland here at Midtown Manhattan on a merry brand New Year's Eve? Would anybody like to go south? Right? When you get there, knock on the door and say, hello, sweet Georgia Brown. wonder where such beautiful music emanates there from. Nothing but the Riverboat and the Cy Oliver Orchestra. And time now for a little sentimentalism with who else but Candy Ross and a touch of love. Is I lost my candy, Ross or otherwise. From the bottom of the Empire State Building at the Riverboat, Cy Oliver is right alongside, but it's time to make room because this portion of NBC's New Year's Eve celebration, which featured, as we will later on, skip across the country, hearing more live at big bands like Duke Ellington, Woody Herman, Harry James, and many, many more. But for now, it's time for the latest news from the NBC Radio Network. This was presented through the cover operation of the American Federation of Musicians.
Time for music, time to dance, time to further your romance. Just stay near me, love you here on NBC.
WNBC FM, New York, and a Happy New Year to all our listeners.